Okay, Chav Tesam is Hahu Gavro, the Shoda Legito, Logito Lidvisu. A person sends a get to his wife. Oma Shaliach. So the agent says to the husband who gives him the get, so he saw the get written, he saw the get signed, so he's able to say Fani Nechtam. He's bringing the get from overseas. And he says to the husband, Lo Yodanolo, tell me I should give the get to her, whoever she is. And he says, I'll never locate her. So how am I going to find her? Omale, so the husband says, Zil Yave La'aba Bar Minyumi. When you come to town there, find this person, Abba Minyumi. Evidently he was a person who you were able to locate. The Ihu Yodalo. He knows who she is. You give him the get, he'll deliver the get. That's what the husband says to this agent, who ultimately is going to bring the get to that community. V'leizel v'leisvei nelo, and he will go and give her the get. That's what the husband says to the shliach. Osav lo ashkach laba bar minyumi. Hear this. He comes and he's not able to locate Abba Minyumi, which was the instruction of what of the husband. Ashkel Rabbi Vov, Rabbi Chanin, Rabbi Popa, Rabbi Yitzchak Dafcho. He came upon these three Amoroim. V'Yosef Rav Safra Gabayu. Rav Safra was sitting together with them, in front of them. Evidently, they were greater than he was. Omer Ulei, so the three, they were a panel, they were a bezdin, they said to this person who's bringing the get, and he can't locate Abba Bar Binyumi, they say to him, Meso Miloch Kami Didan. Meaning you'll testify, you'll say the Fani Necht in front of us with the bezdin, right? They have the bezdin. The Chiyesi Abba Binyumi Nesvi Lake, and when Abba Binyumi comes, we'll take the get and give it to him. V'leiz listen law, and he'll take the get and give it to what? To the woman. So you'll testify Fani Nechtam, so you'll validate the get, and we're the court. And Bar Binyumi will say Shliach Beznan Nod, like we said earlier, because he has no idea if it was written, if it was validated. So Shliach Beznan Nod, Bezdin did their due diligence on it, and he'll give over the get. Okay? That's what they told this person who's bringing the get. When he comes, we'll give it to him, and he'll give it a get. And Rav Safra is sitting there, he's listening to this. Oma Luhu, Rav Safra. So Rav Safra says to them, how could he give the get and authorize them to give the get to this Abba Minyumi? He himself was never appointed to be a shliach to divorce her, right? Normally we say the person was given a get to deliver, to give to the woman, he becomes ill. So we say he himself is the husband, because he is meant to divorce her, so he can appoint somebody in his place to do the same thing. Here this man was never appointed shliach to divorce her. Let's say he would find the woman herself. He couldn't find Abba Minyumi, but he located the woman. He'd give the woman the get. Is the get a get? Get's not a get. Because he originally said, give it to, because you don't know who she is, give it to Abba Minyumi, he will divorce her.
He did say to the guy, take this to my wife. And the guy says, no, I don't know.
So what is the mindset of wait, but what's the mindset? What's the mindset of the husband?
The husband is that I want this guy to deliver it to my wife, but he can't. Okay, deliver it to this guy who can. But he still has...
No, the husband, if he wouldn't have said a word, you're right. But when he said to him, I don't know, he said, if that's the case, you'd be the shlich to deliver it to Abba Minyumi, he will be the equivalent myself to actually divorce her.
But the fact that he originally...
Otherwise you would have said, ask Abba Minyumi, and he's going to point out the woman, and you give it to the woman.
Whatever.
But even though originally he said to the guy...
Doesn't make a difference, but now there's a retraction. As a result of what you said, so what am I? It's just excessive futility that you should be to be the equivalent of myself. So Rav Safra says, they became embarrassed because they realized they made a mistake. Omar Rava, so Rav says, Kapchinu Rav Safra l'tloser Rabbanon tzmuchi. These three Rabbanon, they all were musmochim. That's smicha. He says he kapchinu means he cut them under. It's if he cut off their legs. He incapacitated them. No. Regarding say Fani Nechtam, that you are. Since you are shliach to deliver a get in the process, he has credibility. So when he makes that statement in court, it's a valid statement, right? because you were given as a shliach to see if you couldn't deliver to the woman. Omer Rav Ashi, so Rav Ashi says to Rava, "B'may kapchinu." In what way did he refute them? In what way did he capacitate them? Miyov kama le aber b'miyumi v'loat. Hear this? Exactly, this is what Ernie is saying. Initially he said, "Give the get." He says, "But I don't know who she is." He says, "Well, you give it to him." Did he say, "And if you locate her, I don't want you to be"? Initially he said he should be. So it wasn't a retraction. The Gemara originally had said it was a retraction. Rav Ashi says it wasn't a retraction. Did he say, "and not you"? He didn't say, "not you." He had to retract, he had to say, "and not you." And since he didn't say, "not you," he's still in the capacity to deliver it if he finds her. If a person appoints a person to deliver a get, right? Could a third person deliver it? He has to be appointed minimally by the shliach. But if he's not appointed to the shliach, who? He was saying he is the shliach. He's still the shliach. Because if we're saying now if he would find the woman himself, it would be a valid divorce. All right? That's. No, he didn't retract. He didn't retract. He didn't say him and not you. That means he's still in the capacity to deliver the get. So if he's in the capacity to deliver, he's the husband. So if he's the husband, he could appoint a shliach. So he's appointing the bezdin to give it over to what? To this Abra Bar Minyumi. So he says, therefore, there's nothing to be embarrassed about. The psak was the correct psak. That was saying it's not. It's not. Because he didn't say below at. He didn't say below what. Again. Initially, it's deliver the get. Let's say he wouldn't have said anything. It didn't enter the husband's mind that he may have difficulty locating her. Right? Doesn't make a difference. You deliver it. Now he says, but I'll have difficulty finding her. He says, so give it to so-and-so, he'll give it. Right. So we're saying, but since he never retracted, say, and if you find her, exactly. He didn't say you're not qualified.
Right. It's the same thing if he said to the guy, deliver the get to my wife, and the guy gets her, he says, I don't know who she is. Here, you recognize her? He could give it to somebody else to give it to her, right? He gets to Chicago, doesn't know who the wife is, and says, you know what, I got to find somebody who knows who she is. I don't know who she is. I'm going to give it to this guy who knows who she is. That would be okay.
Right, and that's exactly what he did here. That's what we're saying. Okay, that's the first version. Igad the Amri, another version. Omer Rava Kapchinu Rav Safra Trosu Rabbonim Smuchi B'Teusa. He says, the Rava said, Rav Safra, that he refuted what the three Rabbonim had said, it was B'Teusa. It was a mistake. He thought he refuted them, but he didn't refute them. Omer Rav Ashi Ma'Tusa. Right? Rava said he incapacitated him. He thought it was B'Teusa. Rav says, what was the mistake? Maiko Amalei Abba Bar Miyumi V'Loat. Did he say Abba Miyumi and not you? Same thing. It's just the question is, did he agree? He's just elucidating it or not? Yeah.
What the original instruction was.
What was the intent? No, the original instruction was he should give the get. When he informed the husband that he's not aware who it is, and he said, the other person, was that a retraction, or that's in addition? That's the discussion over here. He says, don't give it to my wife until 30 days have passed. No, don't give it to her immediately. Right? That's good. Ad tlos nyomin. 1 second. Isnis begabt los in yomin. Osel kami durovo. What happened? Something happened. It came that during 30 days, he wouldn't be able to deliver it after 30 days. Wouldn't be able to deliver it. Osel kami durovo. Omerova chola time mai. Mishum da'onusu. The Mishnah says if a person's chola, he could appoint another shliach. This man is not going to, today, he's not able to deliver the get. Because the man says, I don't want the get to be delivered till after 30 days. Now, it's interesting. Let's say he would give the get to the wife before 30 days. What would be? It's not valid, because he says, I don't want the get to take place. But is he a shliach? No. I'm saying like this. The case of the Mishnah is, a man says, deliver the get to my wife. He became ill. Right? When he became ill, what was his status at that moment? He was the husband. Regarding he's the husband. So we understand why he could appoint a shliach in his place. That's the previous Mishnah. Right? He's the husband. So if he's the husband, the husband could appoint a shliach. He could appoint a shliach. Over here, when does he become the husband? He becomes husband after 30 days.
Why? Why? The husband said, here, take the conditions.
No, he says, I don't want you to give it to her until 30 days. I don't want you to give it to her.
Right. But he's on his way. He's a shliach.
That's our discussion now. What is his status?
What's his status?
So he's not, seemingly, he's not the husband.
Maybe it was shliach, but he was bound for those 30 days. He is the husband.
Well, that's the discussion. That's the discussion. Oskamer Omer Rova Chol Time Mishum Onus. We had earlier, a person becomes ill, he's an onus, and you have, because he's not able to do it himself, the husband would be agreeable that he could appoint another agent. Hainami onusu. So he's also an onus. Wait. Omale Mesor Milo Kami Didan. Make your statement in our presence before Nechfani Nechtam, because the get is coming from overseas. Right? Right? The Laboset Los Nyomen Mashvina Shliach. V'yoiv Le Nelo. And after 30 days, we'll appoint a shliach, right? And he'll give it to her. Because you're an onus. Omalei Rabbona L'Ravo.
Is he a shomer at that point? Let's say he's not a shliach.
Wait. Omalei Rabbona L'Ravo. Shliach L'Gershenu. Over there, he wasn't a shliach to actually terminate the divorce. When he gave the get to Bezdin, and he pointed to Bezdin that they should appoint a shliach, was he in a position right now to terminate, the equivalent to the husband to terminate the marriage? The answer is no. He was only a shlich to deliver the get. Right? Similar to before. You're the agent to deliver the get, but not to divorce her. So if that's the case, how could he appoint the Bezdin to be the ones that when the 30-day period comes, they could appoint someone? When he made them into a shliach, well, his capacity is limited. It's only to deliver.
So what is he?
He's a shliach to deliver the get.
No, if he's not a shliach, though, at that point, what is he? What is the
Seemingly he's nothing.
category? He's not a shomer. He's not somebody who has...
No.
What's his status?
He will become the husband. He will become the husband to terminate the marriage after...
Who has this document?
He has it.
Right, who is he?
He is the husband to deliver the get. To deliver it. What happens if a woman finds the get? She knows her husband wants to divorce her, and she finds the get on the floor. And she picks it up. Is it valid? It's not valid.
No.
He has to give it to her.
Right.
So if this man is delivering the get, it has to be delivered by the husband. Right? You send the get in the mail. And you say, well, you say to somebody, you could pick it up from the post office box, take it out, and you'll be my shlich to give it. Is it valid?
He's saying somebody else will do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? If somebody else is coming to deliver the get to the wife, it's shliach. Why wouldn't that be good?
Now, how did they get to that community?
The guy who's committed through the mail.
Through the mail.
Right.
Well, the mailman's not a shlich.
But it's him. He did it, so it's just like the husband saying to this guy to pick it up and take it.
He's appointing him a shliach. it could be, it'll be Mili. We had earlier Mili, Mila Misr Shliach. Right?
It's like the husband delivered it to this guy. But
The husband didn't deliver it. He didn't give him an object. He says, take the object and divorce her. Seemingly would be good. It would be good. It would be good. It would be good. So if that's the case over here, why does he have to be a shliach? Because he has to say funny nechtam. In our case, he had a. I mean, if we're saying that the other person should be the shliach, right? So he's truly not a shliach. This man, he says, don't give the get until 30 days. Right. He becomes ill, so the Bezdin says to him, you give it to us, we'll give it after. Right. Just make us a shliach. He says, but how did he make him a shliach? He himself was not a shliach to divorce her before 30 days. Right? That's what the Gemara is saying. He was only a shliach, what, to bring the get. He's like no different than the mailman.
Correct.
So what do you have to be a shliach? So say he's less than a shliach. He had to be more than a mailman. Because otherwise he couldn't say funny nechtam. Unless he's the husband, he cannot say funny nechtam. The Takonis Chazal, what they legislated was the man who brings the get has to testify to its validity. That is written lishma, and the signatures are authentic signatures.
Let's say it's in Eretz Yisrael. There's no funny nechtam. It's a 30-day now. What would be the difference?
He doesn't even have to be a shliach. Doesn't have to be a shliach. Person says, take this get. Let's say a person gives a get to a goy. He says, take this get, give it to that Jew. And he doesn't say, the guy's purely is the mailman.
Right.
And he calls him up, he says, you'll be my agent to deliver the get.
The shliach is saying that.
No, I'm saying the husband.
The husband says to this guy to deliver it after 30 days in Eretz Yisrael.
No, again,
And
I'm
the
giving a
guy
case.
is sick.
A non-Jew delivers a get in Eretz Yisrael to a Jew.
Yeah.
Through the instruction of the husband.
Okay.
Then he calls up the one after he receives the get. He says, I'm appointing you my agent to deliver that get. Would it be valid? Seemingly would be valid. Right? Why not? What should be the basis that it shouldn't be valid? Right?
Right.
Yeah. One second. I mean, Rava answers it. It's not the same as the Gemara. What's his name? Over there we're talking about it's biyodo. It will happen, like Dav Shlo Bolo Olam. Right? That's what we're saying. Amadu Keved Lebosat Los Nyomin Motzi Megarish Kishlich Shin Ilgershinu. Since this man has the capacity to divorce her after 30 days, so he is the husband. Factually, if he said just deliver the get, then he couldn't. He couldn't appoint the Bezdin to appoint a shliach, correct? Because he was never empowered with the ability to be the husband to divorce.
Wait, if he said what?
He says just deliver the get to that community, not give it to the woman.
Not good. Right.
Let's see, that's all he said.
Right.
This person is not qualified to appoint a shliach to divorce. He was never made a shliach to divorce.
Right.
Correct? But here he was made a shliach divorce, except only after 30 days.
Correct.
So he, as a person, he is the equivalent of the husband. It's like the husband says, I'm not going to give the get till 30 days pass. So therefore, that's the legershin. I once mentioned many years ago that the Rameh Simcha in parshas Bahar, he speaks about a situation, a person consecrates an orchard, Magdish an orchard, and that Shvius comes, the fruits of Shvius, which initially was consecrated by a person, are those fruits hefker that people could benefit from those fruits during Shemitah. Similarly, a person consecrates an orchard, people are not permitted to take the fruit. It's Hegdish. No, not the treasure doesn't own it. Doesn't own it. God owns it. Right? So not. There's Yerushalmi. Yerushalmi says that when Shemitah comes, anybody could take those fruits. It's not Hegdish.
It's not Hegdish.
Because it's not Hegdish. It doesn't belong, during Shvis, it doesn't belong to Hegdish. It does not belong to Hegdish. Why? See, he explains it very simple. He says, when a person owns something, I purchase a piece of property. In essence, what it means is, I'm acquiring the rights for now and forever. Let's say somebody sold you something. Let's say a person sells has only 50-year rights. He can't sell you more than he has. So if the Torah says that every 7th year, it's not yours, it was never yours. So although you own the orchard, but every 7 years, the produce of that orchard doesn't belong to you. God says that that produce is ownerless. Not that God relinquished ownership. The consecrated never consecrated something. You can't consecrate something that's not yours. The 7th year was never your produce.
What about the other years?
Wait a second. Before you, what about the other years? Right? So as a result of that, it's not Hegdish. That's how Reeh Simcha explains the Yerushalmi. Correct? Let's say, and with that understand, what happens if I give you an esrog, and I said, the esrog is for you to use for the next year. The esrog alolav. No one else has any usage. The halacha is, it's called esrog ashutfi. It's called the partnership, it's not valid. The esrog doesn't fully, what are you talking about? For next year, it's only mine, it's nobody else's. No. Because ownership is not just the period of time you have it. Ownership is as long as it exists. As long as it exists, the other person has an interest in it. Even though the interest doesn't manifest itself in anything of reality now, but presently, my interest is relevant to the future. So that means one doesn't fully own the esrog. No, loan is something else.
Or it's like he's not.
Right now, the lender has an interest for later.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So that's a problem. That's a partnership.
I mean, the fact that you have a right to redeem, that really...
You don't have to redeem the orchard.
No, you don't have to, but you could.
So therefore,
Right?
what?
You can buy that at the bus and...
So you have first rights as a consecrated. You have first rights. No.
Outside the...
That's outside ownership. That's nothing with ownership. It's like first rights of refusal. That's all it means. But the owner is the one who owns it. But here, Hegdish never owns it for the Shemitah. So over here, if I appoint a person to divorce the woman, but not until 30 days. Presently, are you the shliach to divorce for after? Are you the husband to divorce after 30? The answer is yes. So if that's the case, he's invested with the power to make a shliach to divorce, even though it's not relevant till after 30 days, because you are that person who has that ability. It's the same idea, same rationale. Regarding the esrog that the Ketov says about, and that's so different. I'm gifting to you on the condition you give it back to me. So when you have it, it's yours forever. On the condition you return it. But when you have it, it's yours forever. But you have to return it.
When you return it, that's the same thing.
You're returning your own thing. You're returning your own item.
So, Rabbi, this man who gives to Hegdish his property, what happens at the Jubilee year to his property? Does it revert back to his family?
No, because the Torah says that anything that's only between man and his fellow reverts back. Something you give to Hegdish does not revert back.
By the same logic of the Reeh Simcha, the man had no right, he doesn't have a right to convey something that automatically reverts back. By that same argument that you just made.
Okay. According to Yerushalmi.
According to the Yerushalmi, what we've said here is that when it comes to Hegdish, the man never had the right to own it, and so he couldn't consecrate that. Right. So come the Yovel year, the man never had the right to convey it to Hegdish.
No, so Yovel will be the same thing, be like Shemitah. But the property will not return to that original consecrator.
But it should.
No.
At the same time.
No. Why should it revert back to him? Whatever he had, he gave away. Whatever his ownership was, he consecrated. When Yovel comes, people will be able to benefit from the produce. But the property is not going back to the consecrator. Why should it go back to him? He had the right to redeem. He never redeemed. The Torah says it's gone forever.
No, but when that 50th year comes,
Okay, what happens if the other year comes? Is the produce permitted to the world? Yes, according
No,
to
I'm not
Yerushalmi.
talking about the property.
The property itself belongs, again, the
Why
prop,
shouldn't-
who should it revert back to? To the consecrator.
Yes.
Torah says that a person has a right to redeem. If you don't redeem, Yovel comes, it's gone forever. It's gone. You don't get it back. Why should it go back? What was right? What you had a right to consecrate, you consecrated.
I thought that with Yovel there's no act that's required. Everything springs back.
No, it springs back to the original owner.
Yes.
If I purchase something from another party and I consecrate it, you can only consecrate what's rightfully yours. So good. So that means Hegdish only has a right up to Yovel. After Yovel, it reverts back to the original owner. What about this, the original owner of the property? When they divided Eretz Yisrael, this is his portion, he consecrates it. Torah says you have to redeem it before Yovel comes. If not, you gave away what was yours. This was yours forever. What was yours forever, you gave away by consecrating it. And if Yovel comes, it doesn't go back.
But the concept of redeeming, the Torah placed certain limitations on the timelines.
Not, it depends.
Like, within a year, 2 years, 3 years, 45 years later, the man can't redeem, can he?
You're sure you can redeem it separate else.
That's his heritage. He can always redeem his
Always redeem, always redeem.
From Hegdish too.
Yes, yes, yes. First, in that case, a year or two, that's between two individuals. If I sell a house in a walled city, or I sell a field, the seller could redeem it from the buyer, but the buyer's not Hegdish. There's not speaking where it's consecrated. We can